And now, it's time for learning more about our lives as students, our body as humans, and our future as happy, healthy people. The APU and AUV Podcast Network presents the Student Health and Happiness Podcast with your host, Russell Freeman.
Welcome, everyone, to our Student Health and Happiness Podcast. I'm Russell Freeman. I'm a professor of health science at American University in Vietnam and an American chiropractic physician. Today's topic is work, life, and balance, how to create your best lifestyle. This is part of a lifestyle balance series with 3 episodes, so we hope you'll stay with them for all 3. Today, we want to talk about defining and building your work-life balance, and we want to cover the definition of what a lifestyle is, and certainly want to know what is a balanced lifestyle. And finally, we want to talk about the causes and effects of unhealthy lifestyles on your finances, your stress, and your quality of life. So to help us understand this subject better, we have a special studio guest today, and that's Mr. Michael Hayes, who is our AUV and APU student counselor. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Russell. It's great to be here again.
Always great to have you. So today we want to talk about defining lifestyle. And if you look in the dictionary, we can define lifestyle officially as a way of living or the things that a person or a particular group of people usually do. You could say something like, he doesn't have a healthy lifestyle, or I have a sedentary lifestyle. But I think it's a much bigger definition, and especially looking from the student perspective, how would you amplify that definition of lifestyle, Michael?
Well, I like what you said. Having some sort of definition helps frame the conversation a little bit. So we want to talk about a lifestyle as how do you want to be the best or most authentic you as you go about your daily business, whether you're a student or an adult here in Da Nang. Our students work really hard at going to school every day, studying, being friends, being family members, being active in different sports perhaps, or having different hobbies, and just sort of a lifestyle that they're content with, that they're comfortable with, where they can navigate through any sort of difficulties they may encounter along the way.
Do you think the questions are different when someone is questioning their own lifestyle as an adult? For myself, the questions that I would ask myself to diagnose, if you will, my lifestyle, there are 3 questions. Do I love my life? Do I feel happy and healthy every day? Or am I imagining a better life, a good deal of the daytime? And I think that for most people, these are important questions, but I'm sure I'm leaving some out, and they're probably different for students. So what can you add to what kind of questions do you need to answer about your own life in order to determine what you need and what you're doing and what you need to change?
Well, for a student, instead of do you love your life, you might ask, am I happy in my classes? Am I enjoying what I'm learning? Am I getting the kind of grades that I would expect for the amount of effort I'm putting into that class? Do you feel happy and healthy every day? What I often talk with students and just people I interact with on a daily basis is that, it's a continuum. It's, you're going to have highs and lows, and you want to look at things in a block of time. And then this last one, do you often imagine a better life? Well, for students, it's very easy to talk about, completing grade 9 or completing grade 11, maybe completing grade 12 and graduating and going on to university. For adults, you're often thinking about, what do I need to do to feel better or to have that kind of life that I'm imagining? What am I missing? Might be a good place to start. How do I have that better life that I am really envisioning for myself?
I think going to have, meaning the future, that's an answer and maybe even a question that evolves with time. For students, looking at the future is, what do you want to do after school, when you finish school? But for adults who are already in the working field in their 20s, 30s, or even 40s, it's about my next stage in life.
Right.
Or what do I want to, where do I want to be when I'm 60?
Exactly.
They're not where do I want to be when I'm 25.
Yep.
So the criteria and the depth of experience that you have really affect the thinking very much, depending on where you are in your life when you're asking yourself these questions. So I guess one of the mini lessons here is it's something that you need to revisit regularly, is to ask these questions on a regular basis, not just do it when you're young and then again when you're old.
Exactly. And school is a great place to start to develop that mindset of taking time to reflect on the quality of your life, your lifestyle. Is it something you're content and happy with? Is it something that, you reflect on and feel proud of? And then as you get older, like you mentioned, and you're into the workforce, you have other factors like finances, obligations, responsibilities that you have to factor in. And again, it's not a daily thing, but you look at time and chunks, which allows for different challenges. And coming out of COVID over the last couple of years really put a lot of focus on lifestyle issues and feeling good.
So let's help understand or expand this idea of balance when it comes to work and life. Now, back in the old days, really old days, when people were subsistence livers, hunters and gatherers, this really wasn't a question about work-life balance, because you hunted and gathered what you needed to survive, and then you did the same thing the next day.
Exactly.
So there really wasn't a question of work-life balance. Your work-life balance was, are you staying alive or not? That was a much easier decision to make in terms of your mindset. But now things are a lot different. We have more time, we have more options, and we have more leverage in terms of taking where we are now and making something bigger of it at another time. So how can we define work-life balance in a way that we're all talking about the same thing?
Well, it's a pretty big topic. So, getting consensus is always a bit challenging, but a balance, implies that, at some point in time you're balanced, and then you're working to get back into balance.
What does that mean, the balance part of it?
The balance is hopefully where things feel seamless and you're not encountering any sort of resistance on your own part. You're not waking up and thinking, oh, I've got to go to math class next hour, or, oh, I got to get to work by 8 o'clock, or, oh, I should have made that payment on that particular subscription, or whatever the challenge that you're confronting in that moment. But you're just going through your day with grace and dignity, and you're making time for the things that are really important to you, particularly the human aspect and the human contact. That's where you're going to find your greatest sense of balance.
Can we learn what our sense of balance is by looking at our results and then reverse engineering how we didn't or did get there?
It can be a helpful exercise for sure, to look at results. But again, I would really encourage people to think about, on a day-to-day basis, it's going to be a very up and down sort of roller coaster, especially given the hecticness of our lifestyles that we have, and the influence of media and the internet, and things nowadays change with such rapidity that students and adults all across the world are finding it tough to keep up with the change of pace that's occurring.
If you look at two groups of people, including students, and one of the groups loves what they do, and the other one doesn't love what they do, how does that affect the work-life balance mathematics?
Well,
excuse me. The reason why I ask is because sometimes people that are passionate, they spend all their time doing something. They're really not balanced. They're happy. They get good results, but maybe their target results are different. There may be a deficit in relationships. at the expense of being better or bigger in their business or creative effort, whatever they're doing. So we only have so many hours in a day. We only have so much energy. We only have a heart that can put out so much love. And how do we keep that in balance, either if we have no passion or if we have too much passion for something?
Well, I think you mentioned early on about, some deficits. And if you look at your daily routine and you're missing something, like you're very passionate about a particular subject matter at school, or you're very focused on making sure you're answering all your emails at work, but you're missing being available for your family in the evening, or you're not having dinner with your family, or if you're a student and you're not completing your homework for the next day, or you're not connecting with your friends, you look at those deficits that are occurring. And again, over time, you need to find ways of transitioning back to bringing more of a seamless lifestyle where it all flows and you feel confident and good about what's occurring on a daily basis.
Okay, Michael, so I'm going to ask you one last question, but I want you to answer it in our next episode because I need a really good answer from you. And that has to do with people that have passion or don't have passion in their lives. And how do they create the right balance and avoid putting too much into their passion side and not enough into the things they need to do but don't want to do? So I want you to think about that answer, and we'll come back soon and you can tell us what you think.
I'll be glad to.
That's our class for today, everyone. Thanks for stepping in, and we look forward to seeing you next time.